This is why I do wildlife photography. The kingfisher came back. He's right in front of me. Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. I am out at a large game refuge that I haven't been to for, it seems like, a couple months now. So I'm excited to head out and see what I can find. There's some red-winged blackbirds calling on the marsh, so that's a sure sign of spring. So we'll see what's out and about. In the forest to my right, I have found owls perched up in those trees before. And last spring, I actually saw some owlets. So I'm definitely gonna sneak up there and see if I can find anything today. But I'm actually gonna head down over to the brook first, because I thought I heard a belted kingfisher calling down there, and I also saw a pair of common mergansers floating down the brook. So I think the mergansers are probably going to be too far down, but I'll see if I can get down there, and maybe they doubled back and they might come back down this way, so we'll see. Alright, there's definitely a kingfisher. I actually think two of them. Just heard them chattering like crazy, so problem's gonna be sneaking over that way close enough to be able to get a picture of them. They're off to the right of where the trail heads to the brook, so maybe I might have a chance. I made it over to the bank, and I don't see or hear the kingfishers anymore, but it is very possible that their nest, or really kind of more of a den, is over there, because kingfishers will nest in steep banks along water. So they'll actually dig a burrow in the side of the hill, and this is a perfect kind of eroded bank that they would nest in. So it's very possible that the chattering that I heard was one of the birds coming back to the den. So I'm going to sit here and see if maybe they'll come back. There's a couple trees that they could perch on in front of me, and I'm just going to sit quietly and see what happens. I don't know if you can hear this, but the two kingfishers just flew right past me and stopped a little bit ways down the brook. It scared the crap out of me. I think it was definitely courtship behavior, because they weren't chasing each other like they would if they were trying to be territorial. They were flying almost side by side. I couldn't tell if it was male and female though, because they flew away from me, not towards me. Kingfishers seem to be spending all their time a little bit around this bend in front of me. So I'm going to put on my camouflage jacket and see if I can creep down this bank a little bit to see if I can get a clear shot of them. They seem to be just around this bend, but I don't have a clear view. So I walked over down the bank as quietly as I could, but no surprise, the kingfishers still flew. But I was able to see which tree they were perched on, and there was two of them perched on the same tree. And it's this white pine that seems like it fell off the top of the bank and kind of came down into the brook. So I set myself up, got my camouflage on, and I'm just going to sit here and see if they come back. The one flew up the brook behind me, and the other one kind of went up higher and then circled, so I don't think it went that far. So I'm just gonna sit and wait, and hopefully they come back. I hear one of them. They're off to my right somewhere. It's a good sign. The one that flew behind me just flew over the brook again. Sounds like it perched just a little bit ways down the brook. So that's good. Just need him to perch on the tree that they were on before. I'm sitting here and I hear the first eastern phoebe that I've heard. It's calling on the bank across the way. Up in the trees it sounds like. So it's the first migrant I've seen or heard. It's always a nice feeling. Spring is definitely here. Just perched directly opposite of the bank from me, and I was too afraid to move to try to get any pictures or video of it. But I don't think that they know that I'm here, because they're just kind of going from tree to tree. I think there is definitely some sort of courtship going on here. I don't know what the other two ones are, if they're two males, maybe trying to get the one female, but we'll see. Well, I think the kingfishers got scared off. I haven't seen or heard them for about a half hour now, and they'd been pretty constant up to this point. One of them flew down the brook behind me, and the other one flew pretty high up over the tree line and down the brook that way. And I'm still not too sure if there were two or three of them, but there's definitely a burrow in the side of the bank over here. There's a section where a lot of the bank has been eroded, and there's a little hole in the side, and one actually flew into that. So they definitely have a nest. I'm gonna leave them be and kind of get out of here, and maybe come back, loop back this way when I'm done at the end of the day today. So. I came up to an open field that has a lot of shrubs growing out of it, and I could find at least 2 eastern phoebes and 2 eastern bluebirds that were foraging for insects. So I decided to sit down and watch them hunt for a little while. I sat in the open field for a while, watching the phoebes and bluebirds hunt. But pretty soon they flew off to the other side of the field, so I decided it was time to move on. I headed over to the patch of forest where I've seen owls in the past, to see if I would have any luck locating one today. There's some pretty fresh deer scat on the ground as well. So I'm going to try to keep my eyes down as well as up. So we'll see if we can find anything. Look how perfect this woodpecker hole is. Whew. Just came across 5 deer that were up on a hill, and I think they heard me, so they went up top of the hill. So I just sat down and waited, and they ended up coming down the hill towards me to try to figure out what I was. And then they went over into the woods to my left, and they were kind of trying to figure out, checking me out, but they just ended up running off away from me again. Man. I was going to try to put my camouflage on so maybe they wouldn't see me, but they just kept watching me, so I didn't have a chance to even really move. But I'm just going to sit here and see if maybe they come back, because it didn't seem like they ran that far. And they kept coming back to look at me. So I have a pileated woodpecker to my right, and also have some brown creepers that are starting to sing. So see if maybe I sit here, something might come my direction. Sitting in the forest quietly can be such a good exercise, because when you first walk into an area like this, it looks like there's nothing around, no animals, nothing at all. But if you sit for a few minutes, you'll start to realize and notice different things. Like there was a little small flock of brown creepers that came through, and they were starting to sing and looking for insects underneath the bark. And also, if you sit quiet enough and long enough, you might actually be lucky enough to hear a little mouse creeping up underneath the leaves under a log. So it's always important just to kind of slow down a little bit and look at the trees in the forest around you. There's a big hole in a tree behind me. Actually, you can kind of see it right there. That's a big hole in the tree made by a pileated woodpecker. So they're obviously pretty common around here. It's just the little things that you can see when you actually slow down. I'm still waiting to see if the deer come back. It's been a few minutes now and I don't think they're going to come back this way, so I'm just going to finish up eating my lunch and I'm going to kind of head up over this way. There's a little bit of a marsh over there and 2 hills on either side, so I'm going to go up one of the sides of the hill and see if I can maybe find the deer again. If not, that's okay. I don't really want to chase them around the entire forest, so I'm just going to finish my lunch and then head out. I didn't have any luck relocating the deer, so I decided to head back to the area where I saw the kingfishers to see if I could have any luck there. This is why I do wildlife photography. I was sitting over here on the bank waiting for the kingfisher to show up, and a bald eagle flies directly over the brook right past me and is now perched up in a tree about 100 yards away from me. It's not a clean shot, but sometimes you just find things you do not even expect. I don't know what to say right now. The eagle just caught a fish. Unfortunately, I had a log that fell over the brook in my way, but it went from its perch, it swooped down, caught a fish, and then it just flew another 50 yards or so down the brook. I don't know where it went anymore, but incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm back in position for the kingfisher. I'm actually on the opposite side of the bank that I was this morning, so I'm hoping that I have a better visibility of the entire length of the brook. The bald eagle is still perched up. It's probably about 300 yards in front of me. I can see it now. The only hope of getting a better picture of it is if it comes flying back this direction. But the 2 mergansers that I had seen this morning floating down the brook actually appear to be floating up the stream towards me now, probably trying to get away from the eagle. So I'm just gonna sit here and see what comes about. sat on the edge of the bank for over 3 hours waiting for the kingfisher. And then all of a sudden, he came flying right past me. Of kingfishers came back. The female came and perched on the white pine that's up along the eroded bank, and it was perched there for about a half hour, and then the male came, and it was actually the male that went into the den, or burrow, whichever one you want to call it, and then the male flew out. Actually looked like it went after a fish but missed, and then it went farther down the brook, and then there it comes right there. It's right there again. Let me see if I can get this. Well, the kingfishers flew farther down the brook again. The male, as it was flying away, actually went down, caught a fish, and it perched up behind a hemlock, so I couldn't really see it. But the female then flew back over that way as well. Doesn't look like the mergansers are coming this direction. They might have doubled back and followed the brook back the other direction, which is unfortunate, but I mean, that's wildlife photography for you. But while the kingfishers are down away from me, I'm gonna head out. That way I don't disturb them. And that's gonna be it for me today. Hope you enjoyed. I thought it was a pretty successful day. Got to see the kingfishers. Found a den or a burrow for them as well. Some white-tailed deer, some other birds as well. Plus the bald eagle flying over. So I hope you enjoyed. Hit the subscribe button so you can see more videos like this, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.